Hi everyone, it's Kelsey. So this week's discussion board question was about my research paper and why I chose the topic, as well as interesting things I discovered and any further questions that would remain for further study. So I chose to write my research paper on the early church fathers, and I chose this topic because I thought it would be really interesting just to dive deeper into true Christian history, just to learn more about where and why some of our modern day traditions in the faith started. I feel like the church fathers are basically the foundation of Christian history, as they were the founders and originators of some of the traditions we participate in today. And even the ways in which we worship, they had an influence on that as well. So, one interesting thing I discovered was the significance of Antioch. I didn't realize for some reason that it was the city that followers of Jesus were first called Christians. So that was interesting to me. I also found it interesting that Justin Martyr was considered to be the first prominent defender of the Christian faith against non Christians and the enemies of the church. Especially since he wasn't always a Christian. He didn't start out as a Christian. He experimented with several different schools of thought, including Stoicism and Pythagorean teaching, before he set out to gain the truth and knowledge of who God really is. I also found it interesting that all of the church fathers faced persecution or punishment or backlash in some way for their beliefs, their teachings, and their writings. And in spite of that, they never stopped fighting for what they believed in. So I thought that was really interesting and really inspirational. Also, as far as additional questions for further studies, I don't really have any further questions that I would ask. The only thing that I can think of would really be that I would like to know more about Irenaeus of Lyons, who was an early church father as well. I'd like to know more about his early life, and kind of where he got his start and where he grew up and things like that, and how his family life was and things like that. Just because we don't really know much more, we don't really know much more about him than his writings and the works that he put out. So I would really like to know more about him. And also in studying the church fathers, I would be interested to know who would be considered church fathers today, like modern church fathers. Who would be considered that if we didn't have the rights that we have now, or even with the rights that we have now, who will we be looking to, I guess, to be trailblazers and to make new paths and set new paths and new ways for Christianity. So that was just something that I thought about as I was studying this, as I was studying the early church fathers. So I hope the rest of you have a great weekend. Bye.